Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC Mura here, and this video isn't really something that I had plans to do. I was just talking to you guys on the community post about it, and I had an enormous amount of responses, and I figured why not actually talk about it in a video and kind of go more over what I mean. The post here was, I said, is it only me that feels some sadness when you know your mains aren't in the next game, at least not yet? Here obviously I am referring to the fact that Poison and Cody are not in the quote-unquote leaked launch roster for Street Fighter 6. Sorry if that is a spoiler for you, but yeah, they are not in the alleged roster leaks. And obviously with that comes the next step, and that is, which character do you want to play? Now in the current Street Fighter 5, unfortunately I don't get to play as much as I would like to, but the characters that I do play are Rose, Poison, Cody, and sometimes or Mika for the fun of it. And if you just noticed, sadly none of them are in the league roster, and this is somewhat disappointing. Obviously I wish that they will make it in eventually, but yeah, now I have to go into Street Fighter 6 and pick up a new character. The characters that you main, usually you land on them due to a number of reasons. For a character like Cody, I've always liked him, he has always been my main. I play him because I like him as a character. He was different from Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5. For the longest time I had liked Street Fighter 4 Cody more, but I actually do like this version of Street Fighter Cody now in Street Fighter 5. After they have buffed the knife, they give him the sway, level 2 Zonk. Now we have a lot of tools that make him a really fun neutral character, and that is something that I was kind of missing out because he was a little bit too dry in the earlier seasons. Poison is a character that I 100% enjoy more in Street Fighter 5 because I figured she was a little bit too derivative in Street Fighter 4, and obviously Rose is a character that I liked in 4 and 5, and Armika is just a really fun character, and I do like pro wrestling in general, so Armika is a lock-on for me. But now we journey into Street Fighter 6 and we journey into the unknown. Now I know some people talked to me and said like, don't you play Chun-Li? And yes, I do play Chun-Li, and I mean, out of the characters that we have seen so far, I guess Chun-Li is kinda interesting, but I'm not feeling Street Fighter 6's Chun-Li. Obviously I think her model in Street Fighter 5 was amazing. Something about the Street Fighter 6 model for Chun-Li just, it doesn't feel right. It feels like she doesn't have really any upper body and it's all like lower body. She looks kind of weird, and some of her animations, I don't know, I'm not really feeling her so far, but you never know. And unfortunately, out of the characters that are in the game right now, I think I'm gonna play Luke, which is pretty weird for me. I have liked Luke in Street Fighter 5, but not enough to main him. But anyways, we will see. The journey into the unknown is a weird one, because you're not only learning a new game and getting accustomed to it, but you're also getting a new character, most likely, right? Because some people actually highlighted a very important topic, and that is sometimes you get the returning character only in aesthetic, and some characters I feel like are gonna be big examples of that. For example, a character that is returning is Chun-Li, right? Chun-Li seems very different to the Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li, and I would say even to the Street Fighter 4 Chun-Li. This one reminds me the most of the Marvel games, which is an interesting direction to take the character in, and she does have a little bit of Third Strike, a little bit of Street Fighter 4 and a little bit of 5, but she's not really Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 Chun. So yes, Chun-Li is back in aesthetic, but she's not the main character, while a character like Guile seems, at least initially, like he's more relatively closer to his Street Fighter 5 version, although now with the announcement of like the perfect Sonic Boom and all of that, and he does seem to have a bunch of new target combos. So yes, maybe you will get the character in the aesthetic but not the gameplay. This happened a lot to people in Street Fighter 5. For example, Cody, Yuri was a very interesting one, because obviously a lot of Yuri players loved her in Street Fighter 4, didn't really feel the Street Fighter 5 version. Now Yuri in Street Fighter 5 is getting a lot of love, so if Yuri makes it into Street Fighter 6, which version are they gonna choose, or are they gonna mix and match? It's gonna be very interesting to see how they will go about it. But I mean, obviously it's kind of tricky, right? And it's kind of disheartening as well, because you invest a lot of time into these characters and you learn a lot of them. You tried really hard to get good with them, and now you kind of have to go at it again from scratch. Well, maybe if you play a character like Luke or Ryu, you have a little bit more of familiarity to go on, and I feel like that's actually kind of interesting, because it feels to me that Luke is probably the character that resembles his Street Fighter 5 versions the most. So I guess maybe playing Luke is like the best preparation for Street Fighter 6. We're gonna have to wait and see on that one. And a lot of other people told me that they have been feeling that way since Street Fighter 5. People who liked characters like Makoto, Viper, Fei Long, yeah, they didn't make the cut, which is pretty unfortunate. Like, they had to wait really long. And others who played characters like Sagat, who didn't make launch roster Street Fighter 5, and doesn't seem that he will make the launch roster for Street Fighter 6, although you never know. Now, one thing that I will say is, and this is somewhat of a spoilery section, obviously we got to see the leaks, right? And some of the characters look interesting, although I have to wait and see them in action. Mimi, the like female Abel, that one could be an interesting character, and I'm pretty interested in Cammy actually. I wonder if they are gonna adjust Cammy in any way and mix her up a little bit, make her a little bit less straightforward and have a bit more tools to play around with. Maybe then I'll get to play a little bit of Cammy. I've always liked Ken as well. He have been my favorite Shoto, along with the Evil Ryu variant. But although I know a lot of people are really excited about Depressed Ken, but I never like to play the characters that is ultra popular and everyone is playing them. So I don't know, it feels like an interesting new challenge, you know, like checking out the new game, feeling out new characters, seeing what you like, seeing if maybe your playstyle will be represented in the game. For me personally, I enjoy the most characters with good mid-range control, high damage output. I don't really care about mobility that much, but I care about good normals, good space control, and high damage. This is pretty much what I play, and hopefully I will find the character that does that. I have been thinking of maybe trying out something completely different this time and going with something like Zangief, although I don't know if that's really work. I thought maybe I could try out Guile, but I did enjoy Guile in Street Fighter 5, but I can't see myself maining him like full time. It seems like for me it gets a little bit old, a little bit too fast, but we will have to see. Let me know your thoughts on this whole thing. Are you excited to try out new character, or are you kind of disheartened that your older mains didn't make it into the new game, or maybe you are worried that the mains that you play will be in Street Fighter 6 but will probably be completely different? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. If you play Chun-Li in particular, what are your thoughts on Street Fighter 6 Chun-Li? Gameplay wise, are you feeling her or not? Yeah, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.